Okay, so I spent 3 months building the biggest website I've ever built up until this point. It has around 20 unique pages, and I want to talk about the key highlights and decisions I've made during the process of building this website and the outcome of putting this website out as a paid template at $179. And it's my first paid template. So, yeah. If you're new here or if you haven't seen my stuff before, hi, my name is Jay. I'm a visual designer, web designer, and I've built hundreds of different web pages in the last 2 years for different brands and companies. And the goal of doing content like this is to document my process and hopefully convince potential clients or prospects to want to work with me. So the original plan for this video was a little bit more depressing because I put this out as a paid template a little over a month ago and there has been 0 sales, so nothing has happened to it. And if you follow me on my socials, like my short form socials like Instagram, LinkedIn, those kind of stuff, I did publicly announce that I put this out as a paid template at $179. And there was a bit of traction in terms of likes and engagement and here and there, but no one bought. So I want to talk in the previous video on the original version or what am I even saying? The original plan for this video was to talk about just that, right? Just how it's like a failure kind of thing, like public embarrassment kind of angle, and it was quite depressing, honestly. And since I spent 3 months building this, right? So I thought maybe sharing a little bit of the process might be useful to some people. I'm not sure, but I just thought maybe I should share a little bit, like the behind the scenes and stuff like that. Then I can also talk about putting this out as a template, because this is a concept, right? So this isn't a real project, real client. I just wanted to create something that was big enough and good enough that I can charge for it, because I have 2 free templates already, and those are doing decently well. Like, people are actually using them and liking them, I guess. So I thought maybe I can create one that's like big and incorporate those things from the free templates into this, and then make it even bigger, even better, and then charge for it. So that was the original plan. And then I spent a lot of months on this, right? I spent 3 months on this, so maybe the behind the scenes might be a bit useful. So I'll just put both of them together and decided to do this video again. So yeah, hopefully it'll be helpful, I guess. So let's just launch my Figma. I'm thinking how I should do this because I'm on Screen Studio. Not sure if I should just do the entire screen. Okay, now I'm just gonna do Figma first and then Framer separately. I need somewhere to put this mic. Shit. Okay. Let's just take this stacking cups that my sister bought. I don't know why she bought this. But it's here, I guess. Hopefully you can hear me well. I'm on the Figma file. So if you can see the name here, it says Margot. Like, I bracketed Margot because originally the name was Margot, and then I decided to change it because Margot just sounds a bit, but I mean, I got AI to do this, so I think I got Claude to help me create a concept, because this is a fake brand, right? So I got Claude to help me create the details and sort of fill all of this information up about what I need, or like the kind of information I need, like who are they targeting, what they do, some of the values, and what's the tone of voice, and all this kind of stuff. This is quite templatized, and this is after a few years of doing this shit. And this whole strategy deck changed a lot of times. This is quite a refined version, I guess. I think this is still the older version. I think the newer one that I have is like even more stripped down. Most of the information here, I think I realized I don't really need so much details, because ultimately we are quite visual creatures. We don't really know what we want until we see what it actually looks like. So I try to get this out of the way as fast as possible, and we can come to the exploration here. So okay, so you see the sitemap here, right? It's just one page. So the original plan, right, when it was still Margot, it was to be a Claude code kind of test. I wanted it to be just one page, and then I designed it in Figma, and then just use the Figma to Claude MCP and get Claude Code to replicate it. And it didn't work out very well, and I'm pretty sure it's a mix of Claude Code not being as good as I thought it was, and also a mixture of how I prompted it, because I just created the entire thing give it to Cloud Code, and then expect it to recreate the entire thing one shot. It didn't work out because, for one, is that it took really long. It took super long. It took like a week or 2 weeks to even get like a live preview. I'm on the pro plan, and every time I run the session, by the time, before it even gets close to finishing a task, I will hit the limit already. Then the next day I'll come back and I'll resume, and it will hit the limit again, and this just keep going for a week. Maybe I could have invested in the max plan, I don't know. But for anyone that thinks that you can just one-shot prompt this kind of thing, I think maybe now you still can. I don't know. I mean, I can't say for sure because I'm still playing around with Claude Design, and I'm trying to find that more seamless process, and maybe it's possible now, but when I was doing this, it didn't work. It didn't work out. So after this sort of failed, that's when I was like, okay, maybe I can put this out as a template, because I don't want to just create another concept, because I have quite a few concepts already. I did hundreds of different concepts, by the way, in my last 2 years, because I just didn't have the confidence to take real clients. So I keep creating concepts just to make myself feel better in terms of like, oh, I can actually do this, or like make myself feel more confident in a sense. So yeah, that's when I decided to make this a paid template and started to think about how I can make this really big. And I got all the concept and stuff like that, which at the end of it, I didn't really use all of this. So I removed this in my refine process. I didn't really use a lot of this. I just come to the workspace here, and then I just, all the mess is here, right? I just started exploring more visually and more in a high fidelity kind of sense. And this just helped a lot better to understand what kind of style and direction I can go for. So I created this whole product demo as well, just because I wanted to see if I could create like the live demo is on the website, and you can sort of click through, which is possible, right? It's possible. It's just that because at this point I figured that I wanted it to be a template, and if I do this, it's not very customizable if I do like a live demo, unless it's a video. But if it's a video, then it wouldn't be very interactive. It would just be playing on its own, you get what I mean? That's why I scrapped that. I spent a lot of time building it, by the way, but at the end I scrapped that. I was like, forget it, never mind. So I just decided something simple, something just like a screen, and then some of the other early iterations, and then yeah, I landed on this, right, which is very similar to the final design. And there's some other stupid stuff here. I don't know what's happening, honestly. I don't really remember. And then I come with this, and I think this was I think this is the one that I sent into Claude to try to help me replicate, and it didn't replicate it really well. So yeah, so I came here, here, and then I started brainstorming like all the different pages that a startup would need, like whether it's early stage or late stage or middle stage or whatever this shit is, it would have a page, or like this website would be customizable to their needs. So that's when I was like, okay, maybe they need a changelog, maybe they need careers, they want to hire people, maybe they need like a sales or landing page optimized just for campaigns. Maybe if they are super early stage, they may need a wait list. So yeah, I really compressed everything I knew and learned about the last 2 years into this. And and one more thing, the reason why it's priced pretty high, 179, is because the idea I wanted to put into this template was 3 years of learning this shit and studying hundreds of different conversion-driven landing pages and website, and I want to put it into this. And in hindsight, it's not really a very good idea, because technically I don't have much proof of that. I have done a lot of different projects, like live projects, and even though I've done that, I can't I can't confidently say that I know what I'm doing, or like this specific thing works, because I don't have huge results, or I don't have testimonials that like have like a 2x increase in sales or whatever, right? I don't have a very solid testimonial to prove that I know what I'm doing. I don't think that's the main reason why it didn't sell, but it's one of the contributing factors, I guess, because when I hit into this with that mindset of wanting it to be conversion kind of driven, my idea of what it looks like is that it has to be snappy, it has to be simple, it has to be readable and easy to scan. So that's why it's very basic. Like the whole look is very basic in that sense, in a way that like even AI could create something like that very, very simply, very easily. And so as a result, it's very basic and very generic. And then I came across, okay, this is fast forward a little bit. I think like last week or 2 weeks ago, I came across this other template that this creator did, like a X creator, like an X content creator. He's pretty popular in this niche, like creating templates, and he recently released a template, and it's completely like mind-blowing in terms of the visuals. Like visually, if you compare it to mine looks like a child fucking created this. That's when I sort of come to terms with like, okay, maybe templates is just a visual contest, like a beauty contest. Because ultimately, for something to be conversion driven, in my understanding, it has to be tailored in a certain web strategy, in a way that the tone of voice is right, the site mapping is right, the flow, the user journey is right. And these are all quite custom tailored to your specific situation or your brand in that sense. So it doesn't, you can never really get that from a template that you paid online for, no matter how expensive it is, no matter how complicated it is. When you get a template, you're mainly buying the visual aesthetics and the structure of the project. So whether it's a Framer template or a Webflow template or Claude Code or whatever kind of template, you kind of just hope that when you buy it and when you try to use it, it's easy to customize. So I think that really depends on how the platform is, what the platform you use, as well as how easy the creator has structured it in a way that is easy for you to customize, if you get what I mean there. Okay, this is the Framer file for the development process. Once I got the right direction that I created in Figma, I sort of had that idea, right? And then I decided, okay, maybe I can just try the Framer design pages, and maybe it will make my process faster. So you see the workspace here, it's like quite crazy. Okay, maybe I should change to light mode. Okay, prepare for like a bright screen, okay? Yeah. So once I got that down, and I come to Framer here, and then I design all the different pages individually here. So there's quite a shit ton of stuff that is going on here. Once I got the design down, then I just bring it over to the development side of stuff here, right? And to create the responsive pages and stuff like that. And like I said, right, I wanted it to be my idea of conversion driven. So all the animations is pretty fast, pretty snappy, and it's very, very simple, right? Very simple layout, and the demos here are all images, so it's customizable. People can just drop in an image of their product, and yeah, it's very easy to read, very easy to understand what this does, right? And that was the whole idea. I didn't want it to be flashy and stuff like that. And the mobile screen as well, you see, it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple to understand and stuff like that. And then the light and dark mode was also one of the things that I wanted to incorporate in this. And thankfully, when I was designing this, unfortunately, when I was designing this and building this, Framer hasn't released the Framer agents. So if you see here the chat here, they haven't released that shit yet. So I had to manually change every single every single color styles. So if you're not familiar with Framer, one more thing, you see all of these are nicely named, and this took a bit of time as well, because I tried to think of the naming convention on my own, and then I realized, never mind, let's just use Claude to do this. Okay, I'm talking for a bit long. Let me reset this. Okay, I'm back. So I used the DJI Osmos Pocket, whatever this is called lah. And I think after a certain time limit for the video, it will cut. So I just reset it so that it doesn't cut unintentionally, if you get what I mean. Sorry, I'm sidetracking. Okay, let me come back to this. So the naming for the layers took a bit of time, because I tried to do it on my own, and I couldn't find a very good naming convention, so I just got Claude to do it and used the Framer MCP, and it just helped me create this, and I think it's pretty nice. It's pretty easy to understand. But to create the dark and light mode, I have to come individually here. So if you see the different tabs here, right? So it will always be light mode, and then the dark mode, if you don't edit it, it will follow the same hex code here, follow the same color here. So to change it, you can come here and then change it manually, and every single one you just change it manually so that you have a dark mode, and then when you click on this, then you see the dark mode change here. So these are all based on system settings. You can add the button here so that people can manually change it, and I only add this because I wanted people to see that there's a light mode and dark mode. But if you don't have something like this, it will just follow the system settings. So if the user system settings is dark mode, then the website will be dark. If it's light mode, then it will be light mode. So that's one of the things that I incorporated. And all of the other pages you see here, there's a shit ton of other pages here. And I just individually created all of this, thinking that people might want to use them and hopefully it'll be helpful. And the CMS as well. Let me open up the CMS. Sorry, it's not the CMS. Okay, CMS here. So there are 7 different CMS collections here. It was not easy to connect all of them because there's a lot of dynamic layers. I'm not sure how to explain it, but there's a lot of dynamic layers and I put a lot of time into making sure that it's editable. So if you want to create another blog or if you want to change or edit a blog, you can just do it here instead of on the canvas itself, because it can be quite messy, or if you're not familiar with it, it can be quite tough. But this just makes it a lot easier to add and edit stuff here. So to add a new one, you can add the plus button here. Sorry, you can click the plus button here and add a title, the slug you don't need to care, and then the image and stuff like that. And same for the other stuff. So all these are linked up in a dynamic way. And oh, maybe I should share the template version. Okay, so this is the original file. That's why there's this. So obviously on the template version there isn't this. Let's just give it some time to load. Okay. So you see there's documentation as well, which I put a lot of time on. And I write everything I typed everything out here. And then on top of that, I created a video documentation as well. And that is like 20 minutes long. Okay, like it sounds pretty dead. Honestly, like the video isn't that great. But I wanted something to have timestamps so that if they are more of a video learner kind of person instead of like a written text. Because for me, I prefer to watch a video instead of reading it like that. So that's why I gave that option, and I wanted to bring the whole template experience up and level it up because I want to charge higher for this. And yeah, this is about how it looks like on the template side of stuff, and everything else looks the same. And then there's the hero variant as well. I forgot to mention that. So there are 3 different variants. If you see here's supposed to be the announcement PO, but when there's an empty state, or I just set this temporarily so that they can see there are other hero variations here. So yeah, that's a bit about the behind the scenes of the whole process. I'll just come back to the end product of putting this out as a template, as a paid template. So why it's sort of a failure or embarrassment. So to go back a little bit on the pricing side of stuff. So the reason why I decided to price it at, okay, wait, let me save the file in case I fuck it up and I forget to save it, because that happened quite a few times. Originally, okay, I don't need this anymore. Okay, you know what, let's just leave it like that. So originally the plan for the pricing, I watched a bunch of videos about it and see how people price their digital products, and they were saying either give it away for free or charge premium for it, because if you're gonna charge like $10 for this shit, might as well just give it for free. Okay, I don't know whether that makes sense, but the videos that I watched, the gurus online, that's the general census. So I was like, okay, I put so much effort into this and time into this, maybe I can just go for a higher tier. And I know that to be successful, I'm sure everybody does it. Like everybody puts in effort, everyone puts in time. Oops. I just think like, yeah, maybe it's something that I can charge for. I don't know. I mean, it was just my thought process at the time. And I just put it out. And I published it and I launched it and publicized it on my socials, right? And I designed a whole new portal as well. Okay, maybe I don't need to share screen here, but I'll just show an overlap of how it looks like a whole new buying process or checkout process. Yes, checkout process. Sort of try to elevate the whole experience in that sense. Like the template I was talking about, like from the other creator, he charges $129 for every template for every single template, right? It's either, so he has some template that's completely free, then the rest of it is $129, all of it, the same price. So you imagine his is selling at $129, mine at $179, but his is like visually on another level. So it's like, yeah, it sort of just made me realize that yeah, it is a visual thing. And after a month, slightly over a month, I was like, nothing's happening, no one's talking about it, no one's using it, no one's paying for it. I was thinking like, okay lah. Then I thought more about like, okay, maybe conversion isn't about, but it isn't a thing in templates, right? And even if it is, I can't prove it, right? I don't have the results to prove it. exactly know, like I don't exactly know myself whether it will work or not. And that's why I was like, I decided to turn it free. I decided to make it free. And I guess fortunate enough that no one bought it, because if someone bought it, I would have to refund it. But I decided to just make it free because yeah, it's just there's no one's using it, right? No one. It doesn't make sense, I guess, because it looks so basic and I don't have the proof to back it up. Yeah, that's kind of the embarrassing part about doing social media like that, because you publicize it, something that you're quote unquote proud of, and nothing happens to it, and I have to talk about it in this kind of way. But yeah, I mean, I don't want it to be depressing like the other video, the original video that I made. Like the original video that I made was really depressing, but I'll leave the links to the previews below. But generally, those are the things that I want to talk about and share a little bit about some of the takeaways that I had in these 3 months of building this shit. So yeah, thanks for watching, I guess.